Yo, what's going on guys? HyperX here. Welcome back to another video for Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak, and today I want to talk about the exciting news that Monster Hunter Rise and Sunbreak are coming to Xbox and PlayStation. This admittedly was announced last week, but rather conveniently Capcom dropped the news in the evening and I was on my way to a powerlifting competition, so I apologise, but I didn't cover it as soon as it dropped. But today I want to talk about it, I want to talk about what this means, and also kind of just talk about some thoughts around the elephant in the room, being the fact that we still do not have crossplay. However, with that being said, if you guys do enjoy this, a like would be super appreciated. Comment down below, let me know what you guys think about this, and let me know if you guys are excited to play this on either PlayStation or Xbox. Also, just before we go any further, another exciting announcement. As you guys know, we of course have the Ponchies available to purchase from the in-game store, but our good friends at TDS, Team Darkside, recently released their own mascot plushie, and it is incredibly awesome. Look at this guy, he's hella cute. They have this available right now to pre-order. It is of course a plushie version of their mascot. It has really cool details, and it's only available to pre-order until the 21st of December. So if you want to grab one of these, make sure you head over to the link I've put it in the description box down below. You can go and grab their plushie, support them, and rock the TDS mascot. Maybe it'll even help you with your clear times in Monster Hunter. Of course, also if you guys want to grab some of our Ponchies, they will also be linked in the description box down below. But definitely go and show our friends at TDS some massive support. Anyway, let's talk about this news. So, of course, on December the 1st, they announced that Monster Hunter Rise, specifically Rise, this will of course extend to Sunbreak, and more on that in a moment, but firstly, Monster Hunter Rise will be coming to Xbox Series X and S, Xbox One, PlayStation 5 and PlayStation 4 on January the 20th, 2023. It'll also be coming to Game Pass as well, so if you guys really don't want to pay for it and you have Game Pass, then you can just get it for free, although Game Pass is paid, so it's not technically free, but you know what I mean. The point is, if you want to grab it, you can do so on Game Pass. So Xbox and PlayStation finally get a chance to experience Monster Hunter Rise. Admittedly, it would have been nice if this was all at the same time and everybody could enjoy it together, but alas, here we are. Now again, it is important to note, this is Monster Hunter Rise. Xbox and PlayStation players will be getting Sunbreak, but that'll be a little bit later. That'll be spring 2023. And initially kind of makes sense because of course you do need to go through Rise first. Rise in and of itself, when you factor in the most up-to-date version, does still have a plethora of content to enjoy. Plenty of cool weapons and armor and monsters and all that good stuff to look forward to. But it is still kind of weird that, of course, most of us will still be playing Sunbreak at that point, and of course Xbox and PlayStation players will be behind. But to refer to the blog post speaking about what is actually in this version, they said, let's break down what you're getting on the latest generation consoles. They said that on Xbox Series X and PS5, you'll be able to choose between 4K resolution and up to 60 FPS, or a resolution of 1080p with up to 120 FPS. Both platforms are also going to support 3D audio for an even more immersive hunting experience, and if that's not enough, there will also be adaptive trigger support for the PS5 DualSense controller, adding additional feedback when using gunner weapons or blocking with a shield, which definitely does sound kind of cool. I mean, of course, the adaptive triggers on the PlayStation 5 controller are pretty sweet. They also said, of course, by the way, if you have Xbox Game Pass, the game will be available at no additional cost. It's a great way to give the series a try if you've always been curious and you perhaps don't want to pay the price. The version that PlayStation and Xbox players will be getting will be the version of Monster Hunter Rise that has all the free updates up to version 10, meaning it will include monsters and event quests that were added to the Nintendo Switch and Steam versions after the game launched. So basically that means collaboration events, the culmination of the story, all the additional monsters. You get to basically experience the complete version, which is also very cool. But they then went on to say that the massive Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak expansion is then coming in spring 2023, and of course adds the new main story with plenty of monsters, new master rank challenges to take on. So once you climb to the top of the high rank game, you can of course then look forward to that. Spring is of course not that far away in the grand scheme of things, so you know, unless you're going to be playing through incredibly quickly, then hopefully you don't have too long to wait. But again, it is still a little bit disjointed. Now of course, with this announcement, that does of course beg the question that a lot of people are probably asking, and that'll of course be what is next for Monster Hunter. Typically you would assume that we would go through the base game, then the expansion, and then the next sort of natural progression would be for Capcom to announce what's next for Monster Hunter. Monster Hunter 6 if you will, the thing that follows World, whatever it ends up being, basically the next version of the game. However, with them announcing this dropping next year, with them also confirming that Rise and Sunbreak do have an extension to the roadmap, it looks much more likely that they're probably going to be pushing sort of another at least like half year of this before we even begin to hear about what is next. That does not mean to say there is nothing next, because again, as I've said in previous videos countless times before, Monster Hunter is one of Capcom's biggest selling IP. It would be silly to not produce more Monster Hunter games. It is literally going to print them money. So they're obviously going to produce another Monster Hunter game. That is not even a question. As for when they'll do it, that much of course does remain to be seen. If I had to hazard a guess, I feel like they'll go through the PlayStation and Xbox launch for this next year. They'll of course give them Sunbreak. Then when the consoles, the PC and the Switch are all completely up to date and they've gone through all of the roadmaps and everything like that, maybe then sort of towards the latter half of next year, they might announce the next game for Monster Hunter, which could then hopefully release maybe early or mid 2024. So it does of course mean we have a little bit longer to wait, and that of course is still speculation, but that is where I would definitely place the future. Also, the other, of course, big elephant in the room, as mentioned, is crossplay. We know that when they announced the Steam version of Monster Hunter Rise, and the fact that there was no crossplay, there was definitely a big sort of unanimous sigh from the community and sort of a lot of questions around that one. They did, of course, say that at the time the game hadn't been built with that in mind, so it wasn't possible to do. And unfortunately, that still extends to this. Now, obviously, from a development point of view, it makes sense because this is just a port of, what is basically the PC version. So they haven't, gone back and reworked the foundations of the game, the sort of architecture. So the fact that the PC version didn't support crossplay would therefore mean that the console versions also would not as well. It does still not make it any easier because again, if you are someone that perhaps started on Switch, then moved over to PC, it does make the move to Xbox and or PlayStation even less compelling, because if you have to go and do this a third time, if you've gone through and you found your god charm, you've built your best mix sets, you've got all the different things that you like. Now the fact that we've even got like the curious crafting, if you've got some really, really good rolls, it's going to make jumping to a new platform even less compelling. So I think it's fair to say this is probably not geared towards people playing again. It's probably more so just giving people like a new audience a chance to experience the game, which in and of itself is fantastic. But I do definitely think that while we can overlook it for Sunbreak, I think it has to be like absolutely, without question, has to be a guarantee for the next Monster Hunter. Because of course, when you look at other games, more and more games these days are doing crossplay. We have Wild Hearts coming out next year, which of course does have crossplay from the get-go. So whatever they do next for Monster Hunter 6, Monster Hunter World 2, Monster Hunter whatever you want to call it, whatever is next definitely needs to have crossplay, because otherwise it's going to be falling quite far behind. That being said, again, it is definitely frustrating. I, for one, don't particularly plan to jump onto Xbox or PlayStation for this because I already played through on Nintendo Switch. I then started it all over again on PC, and my PC save file is my most up-to-date. So truth be told, I definitely don't want to be earning my charms and of course my rolls all over again, but I'm incredibly happy that so many more people will get a chance to experience Rise and Sunbreak on new platforms. Anyway, that's it for the time being. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comments down below what you guys think of all of this. Let me know if you guys will be playing this on your platforms, and if so, which platform. And do be sure to keep it locked for plenty more. If you missed some of the recent videos, you can check out one of these ones on screen, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.